Hello, my friends, and welcome to a Brotato Danger 5 random challenge, where we're going to take two random characters, combine them using the GMO mod, and then use a random weapon and see if we can beat Danger 5 with the resulting monstrosity. Now, unfortunately, the random button is broken in the GMO mod, so we're going to go back to our old friend, the wheel, where I put every one of the 62 characters, and we'll spin. Also, I hope you're all doing well. I know people get upset when I don't say that at the beginning of the run. So we've got as our first one, the King, and then our second one, which is a pretty tough character for this challenge, probably. And our second character, to combine with the King, we have the Ranger. Okay, so, with the Ranger, we will not be able to have melee weapons show up in the shop. So I am going to say that we're only going to use ranged weapons here, because if our random weapon here is a melee weapon, it can't show up in the shop, and we'll be stuck with one weapon all game, which just doesn't sound very fun. So we'll roll until we get a ranged weapon, and we've got the submachine gun. I actually think that for the Ranger with King, the submachine gun is kind of interesting, so we're gonna go with that and see if we can make this work. The reason I think this is interesting is because the King gets damage and attack penalties and HP penalties from level 1 items and weapons. And so the HP penalty combined with the Ranger's lower HP modifiers means that it's going to be really hard for us to get max HP. Just to remind you about these characters, the King gets -2 max HP for every different tier 1 item we have, and also the GMO tag itself counts as an item. That's how the mod maker had to implement this. So we're starting with -2 HP. And our HP modifiers are reduced by 25%. That does mean lower penalties, but it also means we're getting a lot less health from leveling up. We can't find melee weapons in the shop. Our range damage modifiers are increased. But every tier 1 weapon we have is going to reduce our damage and attack speed. So we're going to have to deal with that. Here, I could roll for harvesting, but honestly, I'm just going to take a ranged damage. With submachine gun, getting some ranged damage online really early is super, super important. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then I will buy some more SMGs. Corrupted Shard, this will cost me 1.5 HP. I'll definitely take Broken Mouth. So with the Ranger, we get 25% less health per when we buy this. So we get 3.75 from the Broken Mouth. Then we lose 1.5 from the King. So basically it's going to give us 2.25 HP when we buy this item, but we need all the health we can get, so we're still going to buy it. Then I'm going to roll here. I'll take a submachine gun. Coffee at the cost of HP is still worth buying. Very powerful item. And then here, I'm going to not combine my weapons yet. They still do 2 damage a shot, and I don't think we get to 3 damage by combining them. So I think the breakpoint is better for just 3 level 1 SMGs at this point. SMG with damage penalties in the early game, especially on Abyssal Terrors, can be pretty tough because the Mantis Shrimp exist, and they absorb damage. They reduce incoming damage by a flat amount. 2 on wave 2, and so it's going to be really hard for us to actually kill some of the enemies that we're facing. Now, getting the crate here does help, but I don't think it's worth losing 1.5 health for the mushroom, so we're going to recycle it. And here I'm going to re-roll. I could take max HP or ranged damage. I think I'm just going to take 1 ranged damage. Boosting our damage output is so important, and then we'll roll for more submachine guns. I definitely want weapon levels on this character, of course. Now, the submachine gun, I think, costs 23, so if I re-roll, I won't be able to buy it. Or, no, I guess it costs 26, but we still want to roll and then lock it. Here, I think we do go to 3 damage if I combine 2 of these, and yes, we do. So I'm combining them because it increases the damage output of our weapons by having fewer level 1 weapons in our inventory. I think one mistake that people make on this character typically is combining your weapons too aggressively. Just having more weapons is good for so many reasons. It's usually more damage, even with the damage penalties. It lets you shoot in multiple directions at once. It lets you proc things like lifesteal more frequently as well. So, you can get yourself in trouble by playing too hard into the King's gimmick and combining your weapons too aggressively. We'll recycle the Toxic Sludge here, and then I'm going to roll. I do want Harvesting. I also wouldn't mind this 10 luck upgrade, but I think I'm going to get our Harvesting going, and then here I'm just going to take 8% damage. That can help offset the damage penalty from having more level 1 weapons. We'll buy the Broken Mouth, and you see we only gain 2 HP from that. Take the Coffee. Ugly Tooth, I think we're going to pass on. When it costs health, I just don't think it's worth buying. And then here, I'm going to go ahead and combine again. Because I have a weapon locked, I think I'm okay going down to only 1 SMG, to only 3 SMGs, in order to keep only 1 level 1 in my inventory. We do obviously want to hit 6 weapons, ideally 6 level 2 plus weapons as soon as we can. But not so important that I need... Oh, I really thought I would kill that before it hit me. It's more important that I make sure that I'm actually getting my full weapon set online, and I need to have the damage to actually clear enemies as we're going through these waves. Can we kill this tree? Yes, I got it right at the end. Nice. Here, I wouldn't mind rolling for some HP. This is our level 5 level up, so we're guaranteed a level 2 level here, or I could just take 2 armor, but I think I'm going to roll for max health. Ranged damage would also be nice, but 10 HP is just too low. We just can't afford to play on that. I'll take the submachine gun. I'll take the level 1 submachine gun as well, and I think I won't combine these. Minus 24% damage is fine. We're still at even damage on our submachine gun, so it's like we've bought no damage at all, but it's still not bad. Bag is powerful enough, it's worth losing 1.5 health for. Propeller Hat is also really good, but I think we're going to pass on it. Ooh, okay. Peacock is very dangerous going into wave 6. But I think our damage is good enough that we can get away with it, and we'll buy a submachine gun here. I will pass on the helmet and the weird food, because my max HP is terrible. You can see here, we're still only doing 1 damage a pop to the Mantis Shrimp. I need to make sure I'm killing these guys and the buff aliens as quickly as I can, because if those two are on the field together for any length of time, it's very likely that a Mantis Shrimp gets buffed, and that could just kill me immediately. So I'm going to run over here and kill the buffing alien. The Mantis Shrimp are just absorbing too much damage. Okay, that Mantis Shrimp got buffed, so I need to run away from it. I think we have the move speed to stay ahead of it, and we do, but we just dealt no damage this wave, so that was tough. Small fish, I'm going to recycle. Don't want to lose the health there, and then we'll take 8 more harvesting. Here, I will buy the Peacock. Levels are awesome. They're going to increase my HP as well. I'll buy a submachine gun, and capping my max HP with the shackles, I just don't think we need to do that. I'll roll a couple times here. I'm looking for SMG levels, and we did indeed find one, which is great. I'm going to combine down to only 1 level 1 weapon. I'm going to try to keep my weapons with no more than 2 level 1s at any given time. And especially on this wave with the Peacock, we just need to max out our damage to be able to clear this wave. Because if I take a single hit this wave, I die. With 14 HP and Peacock, pretty much, and no armor or anything, no damage mitigation of any kind, I think. Pretty much any incoming damage is going to be lethal. This also is a wave with the pufferfish and the slashers, both of which can tag you from pretty far away, especially because we're a ranged character, so we're going to set off the explosions from the pufferfish. These guys only drop those 8 projectiles on death if you kill them with a ranged weapon. But obviously, when we random submachine guns, we don't have a choice. On the other hand, we did get 3 levels this wave, which is awesome, so really happy about that. I'll take 6 speed here. The harvesting is also good, but my move speed is negative. I'm not going to bother with the dodge. When your HP is this low, dodge is so inefficient. I could take 5 crit chance, but I think we can just do better. I will take the armor, and then 9 HP. That's exactly what I was hoping for. It only works out to 7 in practice, but still awesome. We'll take the SMG and the metal plate, and then roll. Some more level 2 items that we don't mind. The garden is a decent amount of healing, but I think we can do better than that. And yeah, getting to level our SMGs is really good, so very happy that I rolled there. You can see why I thought SMG was a more interesting weapon for this combo than it often is, because often this weapon is just too powerful to be super interesting, because it's probably the like third best weapon in the game after like stick. But for this combo, it's pretty difficult to get it to do enough damage that we can actually clear enemies, while it also gives us no defensive stats to go with our HP penalty. So I think this is actually a pretty interesting SMG run. I would have loved to kill that tree, unfortunately just couldn't get close enough. Here I'm going to roll. I'm looking for ranged damage if I can find that, though maybe I just take max HP. Lifesteal is also really good. We have no healing right now, and we're a submachine gun build, so obviously lifesteal is excellent. I think I just have to take all the max HP that we see, though. There's the fireballs from our previous similar king run. Now we're playing with no damage penalty, now that we've gotten to 6 level 2 weapons, which is great. I'll definitely take the honey as well. Any ranged damage we can buy is really good, and the fact that I have managed to get my HP to 30, which is pretty high, means we can afford to buy items like mutation, level 1 items that sometimes we would not be able to buy. I will buy the Blood Leech as well, because lifesteal is good. And that'll increase my ranged damage, which we need a lot of. With submachine gun, usually what you're looking for is just increases to your flat ranged damage, because this weapon attacks so fast, any damage increase to it is incredibly efficient. You'll also see people, because it only has 1.5x critical damage, you'll often see people say never buy crit on submachine guns, but it's for the same reason that ranged damage is so good. Crit can still be pretty efficient on this weapon, because we attack so often, even very small increases to our average damage per shot work out to huge increases to your DPS. So it's not a high priority, but you shouldn't go really far out of your way to avoid critical hit on this weapon. Yeah, I'll take 10% damage. Losing attack speed is not terrible once we have positive attack speed. So there is a weird animation thing with submachine guns where having any attack speed over 0 increases the frequency of their attacks by way more than it should because of an animation glitch. But as long as we stay positive, we're going to be getting that benefit. And then here, I will go with 5 harvesting, I think, just to get to... Nah, I can do better than this. We're the king. We have 50 luck. I'll just take 2 lifesteal, because getting some healing is good. Okay, so here, we can actually get to a level 4 submachine gun. So I'm just going to combine all the way up to level 4. Because we're the king, combining to level 4, a level 4 weapon gives us 25% damage and attack speed. So that's just an incredible find. And we even get to maintain 6 weapons. And then I'll do 1 reroll. Definitely going to take a silver bullet. That's awesome. Finding that level 3 SMG really helped this build come together. We also buy, speaking of range damage being super valuable, we also get it at an increased rate because we're playing the Ranger. So it's even better to buy it for this version of the character. I have to confess that this is actually the second time I've attempted to record this video, because we got Brawler with Crossbow. I forget what the second combo was, but Brawler with Crossbow is literally impossible, so I gave it like 2 waves and then realized it couldn't be done because you start with minus 50 range and range damage, so it's impossible to get damage. So I just gave up on that run. I'm going to recycle the cute monkey. I don't want to lose any ranged damage. And then here, again, I'm just going to take max HP. We will... Now, I think it's too late to worry about harvesting. I could have taken 1 ranged damage there, but I feel like we can do better. Game really wants to give me these +3, these level 3 dodge levels. But I think here is a spot where we just want to take 10 attack speed. Even though we're submachine guns and attack speed is not that valuable, it's still always good to boost your attack speed. I'll take the honey for the ranged damage, and we'll buy everything except the silver bullet, but then silver bullet we can just buy anyways. The cake is still HP positive, so we gain 3 times 0.75, which is 2.25, and then we lose 1.5 from the king. So by buying the cake, we gained, what's that, 0.75 of a health. But it makes future cakes better, because you only lose the HP for the first level 1 item you find. And we just have to buy all the health that we can. Roll again. Definitely buy an SMG. Baby Gecko... Oh, I do want the scope. Baby Gecko... could be okay. Cost me 1.5 health, but we're leaving a lot of materials on the ground. I think I will buy that, and I'm going to pass on the piggy bank. I need to get stronger pretty quickly, so I don't want to buy an item that forces us to invest for the next several waves, because I need defensive stats. Our offensive stats are now pretty good, because we got that extra ranged damage from the honey, so you can see we're hitting quite hard now with every attack, but we need some defensive stats to go with it before we fight an elite. The silver bullet will also help because we can easily just get the damage to kill the elite fast enough that our low HP doesn't matter. Especially because 36 should be enough to let us take a hit. And as long as we can take 1 hit, we should be okay. You can see that without piercing shots, even with pretty high damage, it's still fairly easy for us to get overwhelmed. That blobfish dying and summoning 4 lampreys, that's just a lot of health to get through. So this character can struggle with that. Submachine guns are also just way worse on Abyssal Terrors because they have to deal with the mantis shrimp with the flat damage reduction. I'll take the baby elephant for sure. That can help deal damage around the map. It does cost me some HP, but we have very good luck already. And then 5 movement speed is great. Here, we're just going to take 2 ranged damage, which is awesome. I have 4% lifesteal. I do want more lifesteal, but again, I think we just have to buy max HP when we see it, and then we will level up an SMG, buy a scope, and roll. We can buy this second baby gecko. It doesn't cost us health anymore, so that's pretty nice. And there we go. We get a second level 4 submachine gun, so now we're in really good shape. I'll take the mutation as well. Again, also doesn't cost us extra damage. Scared Sausage, we have positive elemental damage. We actually, and I guess we've got a baby elephant, so this actually could be okay. I don't think it's worth investing in, but if I found it in a box, like I don't think it's worth buying it full price. If I found it in a box, I probably wouldn't recycle it. We have managed to get our damage per shot high enough that we are punching through the damage reduction of the mantis shrimp, which is the next kind of big milestone for this build. So, feeling pretty good about where we're at now. Obviously, with the king, both king and ranger are characters that struggle in the early game but have very strong late games. So, once we've gotten over the initial hump, we should be in much better shape. Still obviously losable with only 42 HP and pretty low armor. Our healing isn't good. I could just walk into a bunch of attacks, but we've set ourselves up much better for winning than we were before. Alien Tongue, I don't think it's worth losing HP. I will take 2 lifesteal here. That's great. Ooh, Starfish. Gonna drink some water and think about that one. So an increase to enemy damage means that we will die in 1 hit, like, much more reliably. But we do have 42 health, so I think that should still put us over 1 hit, even from the the bosses in the end game with 5 armor. And this is actually a case where the fact that our health is low kind of makes Starfish more attractive, because it's going to be really hard to get to the point where we're not dying in 2 hits, kind of no matter what. So I think the Starfish actually will not make it so that we lower our threshold for dying. So I'm going to buy it here, and then I'll roll. Definitely take the Gecko. We'll take the Fin. It's worth buying the Lemonade as well, even at the cost of 2 HP. Just a lot of healing there. Lighthouse we have no use for right now, so we're going to pass on it. This could be a tough wave. We don't have any form of piercing shots, so the AoE damage can be lacking depending on what enemy combinations we get. The geckos are nice too because we have all the extra range from Ranger and from using a gun, which normally means wasting a lot of money just by leaving it on the ground. But the geckos help with that a ton. I was kind of worried about that blobfish for Lampreys because we're a ranged character, can again be pretty dangerous. But we cleared it fairly fast. So I'm feeling like we're in very good shape at this point. A character with 43 HP and a Starfish is never safe, but our damage output is very good. Let's go ahead and recycle the barricade here. Could start building dodge. We do keep finding these dodge upgrades. All right, game, you've convinced me. We'll build some dodge. We'll take a Gecko. We'll take the Fin. I guess I'm just going to buy all of these things, and then I'll roll. Oh, Tardigrade is actually an amazing find for this character. That can really help us avoid just getting popped in one hit. And then we'll take a submachine gun. I'm not going to bother with the Spyglass, and I think I won't bother with Banner either. Attack speed is okay for an SMG, but we've already got 59% attack speed, so we don't need that much more. I will lock these submachine guns. If we're building dodge, we need to build it pretty aggressively, so I will do that. And then the shackles, I think we're still just passing on. The regen just isn't that relevant. We would just rather build more lifesteal. So the whole danger with the Starfish is that we get 2-tapped by a boss, so the Tardigrade really helps avoid that, especially because our single target damage is excellent. So our damage should be high enough to kill the elites and bosses before we take 3 hits in a row. Unless I just walk into a bunch of attacks, which is always a possibility. So that really helps shore up one of the major remaining weaknesses of this build. All right, just a few more enemies to get through. Given that our harvesting isn't amazing, we actually kind of need the Starfish. We're making like very little money even with a Starfish, just because it's Abyssal Terrors, so you just make less money. I need to get used to that in these runs where I'm back off of Crash Zone, where we just have way less money from like wave 12 through 18. Than Crash Zone does, so you need to kind of have your build online much sooner in this map. I'm going to recycle the candle here. 10% enemy reduction is terrible. 3 lifesteal is awesome. I do want the range damage as well, but I'd like to get to like 15% lifesteal, and we can boost our damage just by leveling up our submachine guns. Roll here. I'll take another Broken Mouth for sure. Feather is worth buying also, just because any ranged damage is so powerful. I don't have a way to deal elemental damage, so I'm not going to spend 130 on the Ice Cube here. Just too large an investment for an item that might not do anything. Pretty happy with how we're able to just chew through even these cursed mantis shrimp. That is Very nice. Tardigrade coming in handy there, because I walked into an enemy attack. So our damage has definitely become excellent at this point, which obviously Ranger with SMG is always going to do. And the King boosting it even further since we've managed to level it up. Here, honestly, I don't really need more damage. I'm just going to take 6 HP. I think that matters more. We will still buy the Feather. Again, I'm building dodge, and range damage is still good. The Rip and Tear, I think we can pass on. We just don't need clear speed like that. Cursed Mirror is awesome. So this lets us, if we find another unique item, we can buy it without breaking the Cursed Mirror. So I'm going to roll here. I will just buy double small magazine, though. This is just such an incredibly powerful item. It's worth breaking our mirror for, and that just boosts our damage output massively. Not going to buy the head injury. 50 HP is still pretty low, and I don't want to reduce it any further. But we should be able to take out this elite before we're in too much danger from it, even though this is a pretty tough elite to fight. The Tardigrade again coming in handy there. It is fun playing with a more optimal weapon and being able to just build damage and kill everything. Definitely easier to do that when you roll a good weapon for the combo. You'll often see in my random weapon series where I build much more defensively because often our weapons just aren't capable of killing the enemies that easily. I'm going to take 3 armor here, and yeah, the crit chance is good. I mean, Exoskeleton, just a good item. Yes, it costs us 2 lifesteal, but we can make that up. And also 10 lifesteal is kind of fine. I think I will take 3 more just so we can heal instantly. Cute Monkey, at the cost of ranged damage, we don't really need. Small Fish, think, also not worth losing HP for, so I'll roll past it. Here we have an interesting question. This is always interesting with the King in the late game, is do we accept the penalty in order to be able to level our weapons more easily? I think the answer is usually yes, but there are times when you don't want to. I'll take a Spicy Sauce because we need all the max HP we can get, but I think I will lose 1.5 for the bat here because getting my lifesteal to 15 just makes us so much safer. Let's take an Acid and Spicy Sauce again. We're at 60 HP now, so we've actually gotten our health to a reasonable amount. I don't think we need the Scarf. Our move speed is fine, so we'll pass on that. Alright, so now at this point we're just looking for Piercing Shot still, though honestly our damage is high enough that Piercing is no longer that important. But Dodge and Armor will go well, a little more max HP will go well, and any more just flat ranged damage especially, but any damage that we can find will help us kill the bosses faster, putting us at less risk in the late game. Trying to kill some of these cursed enemies. I think is that like only the second loot alien we've seen this entire run? I think we saw one in an early wave where I didn't have the damage to kill it. But I think we've seen very few loot aliens. Trying to kill some of these curse aliens before the end of the wave. Maybe get a couple cursed weapons. Yeah, it will increase our survivability to buy the helmet here, and I will take the coffee as well. Here, I've got enough lifesteal, so I'm going to roll level 3 damage upgrade. Actually, our percent damage isn't that high, so I can take that. The Cursed Whistle. How likely is that to matter? It probably is worth buying, because Curse is also just good, so we'll take that. And then a Cursed Feather. This is great because we've already got a feather, so we don't even lose HP for it. And it only takes us to 20% dodge. I have decreased my dodge a little, but still worth buying. we'll buy the wheat, and I do still want to increase my HP. Even now, it's very important. The wheat, obviously, is just for the 2 ranged damage. It's an expensive way to buy 2 ranged damage, but with the ranger, it's multiplied, and with the machine gun, any flat range damage you can get is always worth buying. Still kind of having fairly slow enemy kills on the lampreys. And yeah, when one spawns cursed especially, takes us a little while to kill all of them. I need to get more weapon levels just to get rid of that level 1 SMG, because it's giving us a small damage and attack speed penalty. Another lamprey spawn there. Alright, making better money this wave. Laser turret, I don't think we need that. I'd rather just have 48 materials, and Gummy Berserker will pass on as well. Here, I'm going to reroll. I think we can do better. Do I want 15 luck? I think we can do better than that as well. I guess I'll just take more max HP. At this point, we don't desperately need the max HP, but getting to 69 is still pretty nice. And we'll take the muscly dude, take the heavy bullets. I'll keep the wheat locked. Potato is awesome. This is also worth extra HP because level 4 items for the king give you extra max HP as well. I'm gonna do one more reroll because I was hoping that we could find a level 1 submachine gun, or any submachine gun just to increase our weapon levels, but the level 1 one really helps since it boosts our weapon levels and gets rid of the damage penalty. See how fast we can kill this elite. Oh, I walked into that first walrus. Bought tickets to their show. Really, you would think I've been at every one of their shows, and I should be like a lifetime pass holder. So you can see that the tardigrade is helping because we actually take a decent amount of damage, and because our damage output is really high, our lifesteal is less powerful than it usually is with submachine guns, because we're actually killing enemies too fast to lifesteal off of them. So I maybe should invest in a little bit of regen to deal with that. Okay, well, the regen potion kind of fixes that. Scar at this late stage, I think that will help us push over the threshold to hit level 25, possibly. So I will take it. I'll recycle the barricade. We'll take 2 ranged damage here. We'll buy the potato and the wheat, and I'll roll. And our engineering, so I could, if I had a little more engineering, even at the cost of 2 range damage, we could buy the nail, but it's still damage negative because we lose the ranged damage here. No, maybe the scar was bad. I don't think we quite hit 25. We're gonna get like 24.5, I think. And our harvesting is low, so we're mostly only getting the XP that we actually get from picking up materials this wave. So, shouldn't have bought the scar, it turns out. Although, if I hit 25, then I'll get to say, turns out I should have, and I was just a genius all along. Got a dodge there, but we've actually managed to hit 86 HP with this combo, which is kind of wild. So now we're just fine. Yeah, so 24 and a little more than a half. I'll take another tardigrade, why not? And dodge didn't quite work out. I think I will just take the 16% damage. I think killing the elites faster is going to matter more than any potential dodging that we might do. And I actually don't need more HP, so I'm just going to roll here. I could take glass cannon, that would increase my damage by a bit. Sunglasses actually might be more increased damage because our percent damage is very high. So I think I'll buy the sunglasses. I guess I'll just buy both because I think the safest way to win this, even though that decreases our armor, we've got double tardigrade, so I can take a couple hits, and we have 86 HP, so we're fine there. And the safest way to win this boss fight is to just kill them as quick as possible. I'm also, you know, not really worried because we're super strong at this point, but just in the interest of maximizing our chances, I actually think that buying those items does, because it just gives me the smallest amount of time to mess up and walk into a million enemy attacks. All right, well, that was a pretty fun combo. Honestly, Ranger is a powerful character with submachine gun is an incredibly powerful gun. So we ended up mostly as a Ranger build, but that was just pretty fun. We got a super, super strong endgame with all of the scaling from both of these characters together, alongside a very good weapon. Let's take a look at our items here. The early Peacock was awesome. Getting those early levels helped a ton. So really was very happy with that. Bag gave us 285, so not amazing, given that we were the king with 50 starting luck, but could have been worse for sure. Baby elephant for 15k damage. The starfish. I liked the starfish purchase. It helped keep our economy afloat in the mid-game. Keep on looking. The cursed mirror for double small magazine was very good. Just such a powerful item that ended up working out very well. And then I don't think we found a loot alien after buying the whistle here. Heavy bullets gave us 5 ranged damage, which obviously is awesome, getting all these level 4 items in the end game. The scar was a mistake, like I said. If it had pushed us over the threshold to level 25, it would have been good. It didn't, and I could have probably guessed that pretty easily, so I should not have picked up the scar here. Just because our harvesting is quite low, which reduces your income, your XP income by a lot. So if we'd had, you know, 100 more harvesting, maybe some increased enemy spawns, the scar would have been good enough to push us over, but it wasn't. But as it is, we still became incredibly strong, popped the bosses in under 10 seconds, and got a really nice run. So, of course, as always, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.